think it was Cosmic Horror was what we were doing tonight.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like, I guess I had thought of like a story, like I guess that moment in your childhood where, like movies stop being scary. And like
Mm-hmm.
I remember, because it took me years, like actually like 2 decades or longer, to figure out what this movie was. Like in my childhood, like it scared the shit out of me. Like I got a big scar on my knee on how scared I was. Like I was at a friend's house watching it, and then I just like up and left and like skinned my knee on this brick walkway. And I couldn't ride a bike, so I had a
Wow.
tricycle, and I took that all the way home with a gash in my knee, bleeding everywhere. But like it's funny because the movie, like, it's not even scary. It was like a cheap Star Wars ripoff. What was it called? Kroll.
Crawl. Okay. Yeah, I watched that a lot as a kid.
But yeah, it was the part. I'm trying to remember. It's like all foggy, and there's like a sandworm or something that pops up, and
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. I I have a general memory of that movie because I watched it a lot as a kid.
Mhm.
But I also there was that one and another cheap Star Wars ripoff called Space Hunter. And I always got those two movies kind of confused in my memory. Um,
Okay.
although they're very different, but I think they're like that type of ripoff that is sort of the same genre.
Yeah, there's a whole genre of Star Wars knockoffs,
Yeah, yeah.
video games too.
Space Hunter had a very, very young Molly Ringwald. It had Ernie Hudson in it, and the bad guy was one of your favorite actors, Michael Ironside.
Oh, okay. I might have to check it out.
And yeah, he had these giant like robot claw hands, and
That sounds
he
fun.
was really, really perpy.
Burpee?
Yeah, yeah, like a pervert.
Oh, pervy. I thought you said burpee. Like, he had gas. Okay. But yeah, I guess
But
I
yeah,
wanted to see what your, like, the last movie you were that actually like scared the shit out of you, literally.
literally scared the shit out of me. Well, I've never
Yeah.
shit myself on a
Well,
movie,
I
so
mean, it's like I have, but not because of
yeah,
the
but like
movie.
really, really scared me. Um, I mean, Misery always freaks me out. Like I'm never because I always know what's going to happen in that movie because I've seen it a dozen times. But the idea of it, I find terrifying. But like, scared me as I was watching it. I don't know. There are some movies that I get nervous about what I'm going to have to see. Um,
Huh.
but it's not
Okay.
like I'm scared.
I guess I was
It's just
just
like, what's the
because,
movie going to show me?
like, I think as a kid, like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, like towards the end of it, where or like the
Oh, with the
villain.
child snatcher guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I think as a kid he scared me, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I have those childhood memory. Like, I remember movies, scenes from movies that for a long portion of my childhood, I didn't know what movie they were.
huh,
And then later I realized what they were because there was one I remember when I was very, very young, like before we even moved to Lawton. So probably 5 or 6. And I remember this scene where there's this big fire, like there's some big pile of rubble and it's on fire. And then this big silver skeleton like climbs out of it. And that's like the one of the more iconic scenes from the original Terminator. It's after the truck blows up and his skin burns off and he comes out. And I didn't know that that's what I was watching at the time. I just had that memory of it. And then when I was older and saw Terminator for the first time, I was like, holy shit, that's that scene that scared the shit out of me as a kid or as a younger kid. So I have a lot of those. I also have weird memories that I didn't realize were from a movie or a show that scared me. Like for a long time, I had this memory where I was convinced that at some point in my childhood, I was like in this warehouse type setting.
Okay.
And all these strange lights were flashing through all the windows. And that felt real to me. Like I felt like that happened to me at some point. And then back in like 2012 or so, my brother and I were hanging out at my apartment and we were fucking around on YouTube. And we ended up having a conversation about an old show, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That was fun.
And oh man, that was a classic. Yeah, it was on Nickelodeon and it was it's kind of the precursor to the show Goosebumps, which we were too old for, but our generation's Goosebumps was Are You Afraid of the Dark? And we started looking up clips of that old show because we watched it all the time as kids, but we couldn't really remember a lot of it other than the intro. Because the intro to this day is spooky as hell. It's a really good, intro. But we found, he said, do you remember the episode with the aliens in the toy factory? I was like, kind of. So we found a full episode, that full episode on YouTube, and we're clicking around on it. And then there's a scene where the kids are in a warehouse and then all these flashing lights come through the windows. And it was the exact memory. And I realized, like this show implanted that memory into my brain. And I forgot about it when I got older. I thought that it was a real memory, that it had happened to me. And I was 30 years old when I figured out, like, it's from that. Okay. So.
Yeah, I guess most of my childhood. So most of my childhood memories are like video games.
Yeah. That tracks. I'm trying to think of what would be the last movie that scared me, like in childhood. Like you were talking about that transition period where movies aren't scary anymore. And honestly, it's kind of embarrassing, but because I was old, I was like a teenager.
It depends on the movie.
But when I first saw,
it depends on the movie, because some movies, they are legit terrifying, and I guess we'll get into that on our
this one isn't that scary at all, and it should not have been scary. But I remember renting the movie Scream when it first came out on video. We got it from Family Video, and I wasn't that scared while watching it, but after the movie was over, I was like checking corners and shit. Like it freaked me out afterwards. And I don't know why. I guess I was just in the right mood that night, and I was like, You remember our back porch door and that back porch and then the yard. I was like just waiting to see like that dude run by or something in the yard out in the dark.
Yeah.
So that's probably the last one that freaked me out. And I mean what year did that even come out?
90s, but I
Yeah,
forget.
I was too old to have been that freaked out.
I don't know, because I know
1996.
it's like I had this like trigger from watching movies so much when I was young. It was
Mhm.
like the Final Destination movies where somebody gets hit by a bus out of nowhere, and like when I'm walking around town, I just think a car is gonna fly out of nowhere and hit me.
Yes. Okay, I will say that one, the premise of that one, because those movies are silly as fuck.
Yeah.
But the premise did get me, especially, and I was like 20 when that movie came out, when the first one did. But there were, like, after I would watch any of those movies, I was always kind of on edge of like, yeah, accidents can happen really easily.
Yeah.
And we're surrounded by just deadly shit everywhere.
Yeah. 2 tons flying down the
Um,
highway.
yeah, I remember the first time I watched that movie, it was in my first apartment and I went down to the video store and I rented it because a friend had recommended it. And I went home, I watched it, and I was like, all right, it's a pretty fun little movie. Uh, and then afterwards, I went into the kitchen and I noticed that the bottom drawer of my dishwasher was open, and like there were all these like knives sticking up out of it, and the floor was a little damp from when I was loading it. I was like, there it is. Like that's a perfect way I could have just accidentally fucking killed myself. It makes you look at shit like that.
Mm.
But I wouldn't say I was scared. I was just like,
Yeah,
it made me a little paranoid, you
it's
know?
just like that thought in the back of your mind.
Yeah. And then the later ones, they get so outlandish though that
Yeah, it's almost like
um
what's that? Those contraptions that are like,
like a Rube Goldberg,
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, just so
Um
so.
but they also, a lot of them are just things that just wouldn't kill someone. Like a lot of those movies rely on the human body just being like a water balloon full of blood. Um,
Huh.
like there's one I remember where the guy falls off of the fire escape, and then you get
Okay.
that moment of like, oh, he's okay, but then the fire escape ladder falls on his eye and kills him. And I remember thinking like, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't just enter into his head like that. I mean, he could lose the eye,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's gonna kill him. It's stuff like that where it's like the suddenly the human body is very soft
Mm.
and very delicate.
I guess what like Halloween does this, and it's like when Jason stabs somebody and they die instantly. Like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Michael Myers, by the way, is Halloween.
okay, whatever. Yeah, Jason is a hockey mask.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, Jason's the hockey mask, Freddy's the claws, and Michael Myers is the Captain Kirk mask.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
the
that is.
original Halloween has the one where he pins the guy to the wall with like a chef's knife.
Mhm.
Like, and he's like up off his feet, and he's like pinned to the wall with it.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it's not even gonna go all the way through. It's not long enough to go all the way through somebody, much less hold them up onto the wall. Like, no. But that's okay because it's
Well, I guess
it's a fun, silly flash.
I guess it's memorable too. Like
It
I
is memorable,
remember
yeah.
it all these years later. And, I guess we can start talking about cosmic horror. Um, because I did realize I was a bit elitist about it. My cosmic horror.
I couldn't imagine. Elitist, as in like what you consider it,
Yeah.
the genre, or
Well,
okay.
I guess we'll talk about Alien. Like I rewatched that,
Mm-hmm.
and because I guess I wasn't gonna put it in my top three, and I'm still not. But it's like I kind of figured you probably would, and it's kind of like what you just like it's the number one cosmic horror, pretty much undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Well,
trying
that's
to
the
figure out.
thing.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. Although I don't really have too much to say about that one. But yeah, I think it's the happy ending, or maybe just having a survivor. Like
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, I like my cosmic horror very bleak. Like everybody dies.
Yeah, and I'm kind of on the same page there. It's funny because those always show up as being considered part of the genre of cosmic horror.
Mhm.
But I always say, when I think cosmic horror, I always think Lovecraftian, which is not quite I mean, he has stories that are like The Thing, especially, where it's just kind of a monster movie. But to me, those are just monster movies. They're really good ones,
Yeah.
and they're two of my favorite movies of all time. But I don't think, like, when I think cosmic horror, I think like human insignificance and like incomprehensible beings.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay. I mean, Alien kind of does that. I guess it's like rewatching it. Um, like it mostly holds up. Like the facehugger
yeah, I think it holds up.
idea of it is
Yeah.
really a brainworm. But like
Hmm.
the like when the alien popped out of his stomach and they had it, like it was adorable.
Kind of.
Like
Yeah,
it
it
was
kind of
just like
is.
cute little mini alien, and it looks like a
And the
toy.
way it like runs across the table and
Yeah,
it's kind of stiff, you can tell it's a toy running that they just dragged across the table. Yeah. Which they also kind of make fun of that exact thing in Spaceballs at the end.
okay,
Um,
it's been a while.
where they're in a diner, and I think it's the same actor, which is part of the joke because he says like, "Oh, not again," and it pops out of his chest,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember
then it
now.
like starts singing and dancing.
Yeah,
Um, and anyway, but I guess Alien has a little more of the cosmic horror element with the hinting at the origin of the xenomorph with the engineers at the
Mhm.
beginning. They find the big spaceship with the giant aliens, and they don't know what they were doing. Um, I guess there's elements of that, the unknowableness of it.
Well, I thought
But
the
the
thing had.
xenomorph is still a pretty straightforward biological monster at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I also
So,
kind of think just because it's so popular and famous, like it loses the horror of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It does do tension really well, though. Like, there's some really tense moments in that movie. And The Thing I can see making a little more sense too is cosmic horror, because it's just such a weird monster, but it's also still a monster at the end of the day. That is kind of easy to wrap your head around it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it has a
Um,
conclusion too, or
yeah.
well, I guess they did make sequels, but I
Hmm.
forget if I watched them or not. Or, I guess it was a prequel. Anyway, uh, hold on. Like there was one other movie. Oh, oh, The Color Out of Space.
Yeah.
Don't remember why I
The one
wrote
with
that
Nicolas
down.
Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that director was canceled. I was looking forward to the
Oh,
trilogy he was supposed to make. Canceled.
yeah. I didn't know anything about that. Huh. I did not know he was canceled. Oh well. Um. Well, don't be a piece of shit, I guess. Um.
He was
Well,
pretty
that's
weird.
actually my number three. Is
Oh,
Color
okay.
Out of Space is my number three. So.
Good transition. I'm psychic.
Yep. Yeah, it's relatively new. It's not that well known. Um,
I guess I looked
at
at
least
it,
I don't think in
so yeah.
my other picks. But it was also during that quick trend, which I think has kind of died down a bit, unfortunately. But uh, Nicolas Cage had this stretch where he was doing like these just really different independent horror films.
Oh,
Um, like
like
you
that.
had Mandy, you had Color Out of Space, you
Huh.
had the Five Nights at Freddy ripoff. I can't remember the name of it,
Like
where
Willy
he's like
Wonka.
fighting the
Oh,
animatronic. Yeah, Willy's Wonderland or something like
yeah.
that.
There you
Yeah. And I feel like there's a couple more,
go.
but I can't quite remember. Yeah, there was like a 5 year stretch there where he was making a ton of those, and it was awesome.
Well, I heard Long Legs was good. I haven't got to
Oh, I
watch
haven't
it
seen
yet,
that.
so I'll let you know after
I
I
have
see it.
noticed there's a lot of those.
It's like I've heard great things, but been waiting to watch it with a group of people. So schedules.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to pick Color Out of Space because it's a lot of fun. It
Hmm.
looks incredible. I mean, it's Nicolas Cage, so that's always fun.
Yeah. The build-up's
And
great.
it perfectly it perfectly fits that like incomprehensible thing that I'm talking about. Like it's just so alien and so weird.
And it's got llamas too. Oh man.
Yeah, it's got llamas. It's got a llama bundle. And I love the bit at the end where like it's like reality itself is like getting smeared somehow, and he's like walking around and his head is all blurry.
Yeah. Yeah, very bleak.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty fucking bleak too. So yeah, there's my number three.
Okay. It's like I kind of. It's like my number two and number three are pretty much interchangeable, but I went with The Void. So
Okay.
it's
I
a lot
I
like.
think I saw that once,
Okay.
and I was really stoned, and I can't remember if I'm thinking of the same movie.
It was a lot like
Is
the
there a hospital
same.
in that one?
Yes, starts off in a hospital, ends up in
Okay.
a alternate dimension. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the practical effects on it are beautiful.
Yeah. That's a good one. And I remember it fitting at least what I think of the genre really well. So I'll have to rewatch it though, because I don't remember a ton about it. I just remember there's a lot to do with a hospital
There's
and
a
people
lot of
trying to survive
like
some kind of monster.
character conflicts. I guess they're trapped in a hospital and
Yeah.
weird stuff's happening outside.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I need to rewatch that one. I know it's a popular one too. I think it's probably still on Netflix, but
Oh, okay. I thought well, it didn't have great reviews, which I don't know.
yeah.
I think
Well, popular among horror fans, which,
yeah, I guess the thing
reviews
about
don't mean much.
well, yeah, a lot of cosmic horror is like really slow for the first hour or so, and
Hmm.
then it goes crazy. Okay, so you're number two.
Yeah, I don't know if I have. Oh, I did have a couple of honorable mentions
Oh, okay, go ahead.
that didn't make the list. I jumped into number 3 because you brought up Color Out of Space, and I was like, oh well. I mean, that's my number 3. Uh, so I gotta mention the Lighthouse is kind of a perfect cosmic horror movie. I think it's one of the best, but it's not one of my favorites, even though it is one of my favorite movies. It just doesn't quite make the list because I don't think it really has the rewatchability of, you know,
I'd have to see it again. It's been
yeah.
a while.
Um, yeah, so that was one of the honorable mentions. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of my favorites. Although I think that kind of rides the line of not quite being what I think of as. I mean, that's closer to The Thing,
It's like I
which we
get
already had
that
that
mixed up
conversation
with them. Like
with. What?
that one movie that Duke Nukem was based off of. Was that them or Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Yeah, I don't remember. Not enough to go off.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't think Duke Nukem is based on Invasion. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is the one where, um, it's kind of like Red Scare type stuff, and uh, people you don't know who's been assimilated and who hasn't. A lot like The Thing, but on like a bigger scale.
Okay. Well, I was remembering a
Um,
scene where he puts on like glasses, and then like some people are aliens, some aren't.
oh no, I think you're thinking of They Live. I think is the name of
Ah,
that one.
okay. Yeah.
And like the
There you go.
advertisements say like obey and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, different movie. Um, but anyway, my number 2 is a movie that I was a huge fan of when I was younger. I think it holds up mostly. It's not quite as good as I remembered it, but I still love it. Um, and that's Event Horizon.
Wow, that's mine too.
That's your number 2?
Yep.
All right. I think this is the first time we've like completely matched, even
It
on
is.
placement, I think. So
Wow.
nice. I had a feeling Event Horizon might be in your list because I remember in one of our previous conversations you had brought up.
I mean, I just love that movie.
Uh,
It's maybe it's just nostalgia for that time. I don't know. It's like
I think it's a combination. Yeah.
because I know, I guess hearing about it, there was a director's cut that got damaged. Like he shot a bunch of gore for the movie
Hmm.
and had to cut it out. And he was
I
never
think I've heard of that too.
like he didn't know there was like a directors guild, and he could like force the studio to do that.
Oh yeah. Like didn't know he could
It
have his
was
own
like
director's cut at some point.
his second movie or something. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I would have loved to see that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love the
Solid movie.
huh?
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
premise, the all of it's just fucking great.
yeah, and it kind of gets my
And
imagination going too. So that's probably why I like it too.
mhm. I think so. Yeah, I definitely have that relationship to that movie too because when I saw it at just that right age where I wanted to like be a writer and come up with shit like that, and it was like, yeah, it was inspiring in like a creative way because it was just so different and
Well, I guess
weird and fucked up.
I think it's kind of maybe in human nature just to have that morbid curiosity. Like
Hmm.
I've always been fascinated with like medieval torture devices and stuff, and just like
Yeah,
your tolerance for pain, things like that.
yeah, borders on kind of Hellraiser-y type.
Oh, that's a good one.
Uh,
Forgot about that. It's kind
well,
of
now I'm thinking, would Hellraiser count as cosmic horror?
it would,
I think it kind of would.
but I
Yeah,
I don't think it'd make my top three. It's kind of too cheesy.
yeah. I love the premise though, and I'll add that as an honorable mention just because I think it's a little arguable whether it would count as cosmic horror. Although, no, I don't know. I think it does because you
Yeah,
do deal with
yeah.
Leviathan and then the alternate dimensions and shit.
Well, you're opening Pandora's box, I guess, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I love that premise, and I really like the remake from 2016. I think it was 2016 or no, maybe 2020. Yeah, it was definitely later than that. So 2020, it was on Hulu,
I'll have to check that
and
out.
yeah, that one's fucking awesome. I think there's some things here and there that I thought could have been handled a little better, um, because they really lean into the Cenobites, and you get to see a lot of the Cenobites in that one, and they're new and updated. They're stylistically they're a
Cool.
little different.
Kind of like
Um, and
Slipknot.
Pinhead is a lady
Huh.
in this
Okay.
one,
Well, they've done that
and she
before.
does a huh?
I went on a binging of like almost all the Hellraisers,
Yeah.
and
Ugh. I mean, you got the first two, and then you got the remake, and I think that's about all you really need.
yeah, they get really bad.
They
But yeah, they've had
get
women
really bad.
before. But
I do think the remake, since they focus so much on the Cenobites in the 2020 version, I think they should have leaned a little more into the blurring pain and pleasure thing. Like they focus on the torture porny pain part of it a little more without. They kind of miss the point of like the blurring of sensation, and they just focus on the grisly stuff. But other than that, it's fucking great. I love that movie. So I'll add it as an honorable mention only because for some reason I didn't think of it for the list. Okay. But if I had, I probably would have had it at number 3. So, yeah. What are we on now?
Number 1.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about Event Horizon.
Yeah, unless you want to talk about that more.
No, I mean it's Event Horizon. I mean, it's a classic. And what's
getting old.
What more is there to say about it, really? It has the bleak ending.
I know some people just don't get it, and I'm not sure why. It's like I've mentioned it to people, and like it just doesn't hit them. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe it just hit us at the right time. Like, we're the perfect generation for that movie too. You know?
Yeah, it could be.
Came out when we were at just the right age to really appreciate it.
Like that director, it was really like a passion project. Like he did something like really different. Let me see.
Actually, I don't think I have that. I need to get that. I'm just realizing I don't have that one on my shelf.
Paul Anderson.
But yeah.
What other movies did he do? Oh, Mortal Kombat.
So,
okay.
Mortal Kombat.
Well, that is kind of yeah, that was kind of awful.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat movies are pretty much all just not for me.
And I think there was Alien versus Predator, so I guess he does kind of. I guess Event Horizon isn't that different. Okay, so number 1.
Yep. So my number 1 is From Beyond. It's a Stuart Gordon movie. He's the same guy that did Reanimator.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a lot of the same actors in it. You got Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton, of course. And have you seen that one?
I know I have, but I think I'm getting it mixed up with one of James Carpenter's, or is it John Carpenter?
There's another movie that came out around the same time, sometime in the 80s, called The Beyond. And that's a different one. That's a totally different thing. But yeah, From Beyond, it's the one where there's like the scientist who's kind of studying like alternate dimensions or like a different dimension right next to ours. And he's got this machine in a house. And he starts to kind of blur reality, and you see these weird, really bad graphic snake things floating around in the room.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then one of the scientists goes crazy, and the other one disappears, and then Barbara Crampton is like the psychiatrist, and then there's a cop, and they go into the house and have a series of
watching the trailer.
Crazy events happen. Huh?
I'm watching the trailer for it.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's silly and in that kind of Reanimator kind of way, um, and over the top, but also just very strange.
Right.
And
Did we talk about
you also get to see.
Reanimator? Um,
Yeah, I think so. I think we talked about it
well,
a couple conversations ago.
I thought I had something to add. I rewatched it like a week or two ago, and
Yeah.
like I didn't know if I mentioned the Rent-A-Cop in Reanimator. Like he's just so perfect. Like he's never at his post, and at this drop of a hat, like he's out of there.
What? I didn't hear any of that. You're like breaking up really bad.
Okay, so the Rent-A-Cop, he was portrayed really well.
Uh-huh.
He's never at his desk. Like he takes, all these
Yeah.
hour-long breaks, and then like at the end, like I think he pulls out his gun and then he just runs off. And I was just
Yeah.
like, yes.
I
so
mean, hey,
so perfect.
fair enough. I ain't getting paid enough to get to fuck around with that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd have ran off too.
Yeah, I think any sane person would.
But yeah, also From Beyond is another one where I caught portions of it when I was young,
Hmm.
sneaking down to watch movies late at night or to watch TV late at night. And it would be on like Cinemax or something really, really late.
Okay.
And I, I remember very specifically there's a scene, and I didn't understand it at the time because I never got a chance to watch the movie all the way through. I was always finding it, flipping through channels, and
Yeah.
then it was on at some point in the movie. But I remember at one point there's a whole scene where Barbara Crampton is dressed as a dominatrix,
Right.
and I was pretty young when I flipped through the channels and came across that, and I think it had an effect. Anyway,
Yeah. I think
yeah, that was a turning point in my young life.
yeah.
But yeah, great movie, great ending. I love the ending of that movie. If you want bleak, it's a pretty bleak ending.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember
So there's
exactly,
my number one.
but I guess that's good. Okay. Well, my number one is Twin Peaks: The Return.
Okay.
It's like the very first episode. It's really great. It
Hmm.
just has yeah.
I didn't know that Twin Peaks. I knew it was strange and bizarre, and like there's a lot of weird stuff going on in it.
Yeah, alternate
I
dimensions
didn't
and
know that.
portals and well, like I guess the question that David and Mark Frost were exploring is like, what is evil, and like that's what they came up with.
You're breaking up again. You're breaking up a lot.
Yeah. Um, so Mark Frost and David Lynch were investigating what it is to be evil. So
Okay.
like yeah, that's how they were exploring that.
So sort of a rumination on evil.
Yeah.
on like human evil or like something like I'm curious if they take the view that it's like an outside source or if it's all just contained within people. You know, that's what I always go to when it comes to evil because, you know, I'm a materialist. I don't think morality exists outside of us. So,
I think for David, it's probably an eternal thing, maybe in the universe.
mhm.
I don't know. He's not big on answers. He's more about questions. So he probably wouldn't say. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hmm. I really need to get on the Twin Peaks thing because every time I hear about it, it sounds like more than I always actually thought it was. Because
Yeah, I
I
think it's even
thought it was
more
just kind of a murder mystery that turns into, you know, crazy weirdness. But
kind of, but yeah,
yeah,
there's more to it, and especially in the third season, like it, uh, just bigger, better, more
yeah.
more ambitious, and it, yeah, I don't know. It's like I still got new theories rewatching it. Of course, it's like if you haven't seen it, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know I would like it. I know that, and people are always recommending it to me. Um, but now it feels like a daunting task because I'd be starting from square one. Like I am just vaguely familiar with it, and I've never seen. I think I saw maybe the first episode 15 years ago or something. Um,
I never even heard about it, and like growing up, like
mhm,
when it was on TV, it's like I was probably
yeah,
like 10 or 11, or yeah, no, maybe younger than that, maybe like 9.
yeah.
So yeah, it
I
just
was vaguely aware that there was a TV show called Twin Peaks, but I think even at the time, as a kid, I just assumed it was like maybe a sitcom or like a television drama or something. I didn't think it was anything beyond that. And
yeah, yeah.
uh I do remember the theme song, like the opening song,
Mhm.
and always like I had always heard that song outside of the show, but I always associated it with the show because it was on one of the Pure Mood CDs. Do you remember those?
Really?
They would sell them on TV. The commercial would come on,
Huh.
and it was one of those. You know, you called to order this CD that was advertised on the TV, and one of the songs on the Pure Mood CD was the Twin Peaks theme, and you know it lists it as the theme from Twin Peaks. So I always knew about the song. So point being, I was always just kind of vaguely aware that that was a TV show. So
Yeah, I guess growing up, it's like I was on the X Files bandwagon, at the time, and I like had no
mhm.
idea about Twin Peaks until like 10 years later.
Yeah,
And it is kind of a soap opera, like it blends a lot of genres, and it does like satirize our society in America.
oh yeah, I would assume so, just from what I've kind of picked up from the vibe of the show and it being David Lynch. I mean,
Yeah, it's like Oh, I guess there's a fan cut of his movie, The Fire Walk with Me. It's like
Hmm.
I was I wasn't sure if I wanted to see a fan edit of that, but I might break down and watch it.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe you'll look at it from a different angle or something. Maybe it'll just be interesting. Yeah.
Well, I knew when the movie came out, like everybody hated it, and
Mm.
but yeah, I guess it's
I don't remember what people thought of the movie. I do remember when it came out though, because that was one of those periods where I was like, "Damn, I really need to watch this," and I just still never got around to it. So
yeah. It's like I haven't shown it to a lot of people, but it's like I guess this one couple I did show it to, they hated it, but they're kind of milk toast, so I don't know.
yeah, well, yeah, not everybody likes everything.
Yeah.
There are very basic movie watchers, TV show watchers that I don't think are going to like much of anything David Lynch does.
Yeah, I guess it goes back to that. Uh, I forgot his name. What is it? David Foster Wallace, whatever. He was saying
Mhm.
like Lynch doesn't have the normal movie going social contract.
Right.
It's like you don't really know what you're walking into. Which I don't know. I think Wild at Heart is pretty movie gold. I mean,
Mm. Well, I guess there you go. There's our list. Oh, I did think of another honorable mention.
okay.
The Ritual, which I think was only on streaming. Um,
Hmm. I
that's
don't know if I've
it's
seen
really
that one.
good. It's like these friends. One of their friends dies, and then they all go on like a hiking trip to, kind of commemorate their friend or whatever, because they used to go hiking together. And they go on this hiking trip, and just a bunch of weird, unexplainable shit starts happening out in the woods. Um, and then
Oh,
there's a cult, and uh, they like lose consciousness and start doing stuff without their own knowledge, like performing rituals and shit. And but yeah, it's a solid kind of cosmic horror, strange movie. Takes place out in the wilderness. But it has one of my favorite creature designs. Just a really weird monster out in the woods. And when you see it, it's bizarre in a way that I thought was really fun.
okay. I don't think I've seen it, but
So
I think they're making a remake or another one, a sequel. I don't know.
it's pretty recent. It's like, I don't know,
So
2015 or so, maybe later than that actually.
2017, based off a novel. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, 2017 sounds about right. But yeah, that's a fun one. I would recommend it if you're in the mood for just kind of spooky
Oh,
shit out in the woods.
it's like I was trying to think of this movie, and I think I remember it. It's The Empty Man.
Yes, I've heard of that. That there was a lot of buzz around that movie when it came out because no one expected it to be good, and then apparently it was pretty good.
I thought it was.
Um, I still haven't gotten around to watching it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think that's, well, it's been a while. I guess all I remember from it was that I liked it.
Yeah, I have a lot of those, especially when I smoked a lot. I remember, like,
Well,
I'll remember
uh,
that I watched it and liked it, but I don't remember anything about it
yeah,
because I
this
was
this
fucking
was
high.
one of those. I was probably high.
Yeah,
But
I wonder if that one's.
I guess for next week, I realized that we forgot a kind of significant genre. So I thought we'd
Oh, for the
do,
list.
yeah, I thought we'd do comedies.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I guess we did leave that off the list, and it's like one of the big ones.
Right.
Um, it's one of the ones that has a billion subgenres too.
True.
That's a difficult one because I like comedies, but they rarely stand out to me. You know?
Yeah, they're kind of all throwaway, like interchangeable. Although, oh, okay. Well, I
Man,
got a couple. Oh, you got to read.
I'm really gonna have to think about comedies and even what type of comedies I usually like. I mean, I like comedies. I'm trying to think of any that really stand out that much. Um, there's ones that they're like subgenre ones. Like The Princess Bride is a comedy,
True. Yeah, you could
but
go with it.
it's not one that pops into my head when I think comedy, you know? Now, if I think
Um,
like rom com, that's one of the first ones that pops into my head because it's one of the only good ones.
okay. Well, you got a week.